What's going on, socialites? Ryan here, Commissioner, Global Pokemon Society Draft League, with an update for the Week 3 free agent pickups in the majors. So this is the first week that teams could use some of their free agent swaps, change their teams around a little bit, and per usual, in most of our seasons, the first week had a lot of changes. People always adapting once they kind of see how their team really fits together. So we're going to go through those, say a few words on a couple of them, and just let everybody know how the teams changed. So 8 of the 16 teams made some changes, so half the league made some changes. Let's take a look here. Starting off with the Black City Zekrom, they made a couple changes. They dropped Breloom and Ambipom and picked up Jirachi and Sceptile. So, not the biggest fan of these. For one, the Breloom for Jirachi switch. Breloom is like a top 10 Pokemon, very, very easily a top 10 Pokemon in this meta. Jirachi was nerfed really hard from Sword and Shield. In Sword and Shield, it got Iron Head, which gave you like a 60% flinch rate with its Serene Grace ability. And basically that just made Choice Scarf Jirachi really good, right? Just kind of U-turn Iron Head is all you really needed in that meta. It lost a couple other moves, but in this game it doesn't have Iron Head. And that significantly decreases its sort of role. So the way Jirachi works in Brilliant Diamond Shine Pearl is more of like using its stats to be really bulky, do U-turn, Stealth Rocks, Wish, and either Psychic, Doom Desire, whatever you want to do with that. Those are like its stronger attacks from there. Its best Serene Grace set is doing something like Zen Headbutt, which has a pretty low chance to flinch. Like, it's not like Iron Head, or Meteor Mash, which with Serene Grace gives you a 40% chance to get a attack increase. But again, it's just not the reliable power that Jirachi was in Sword and Shield with his Scarf set. So getting rid of a Pokemon like Breloom, which can be run a few different ways. You can have the bulky Poison Heal substitute, sub Leech Seed Focus Punch set. You can have the Technician Force Palm Bullet Seed sort of set. You can go Choice Band. You can go Focus Sash. Again, Poison Heal, Toxic Orb. You could go Scarf on some sets. Like, it gives you a lot of variety, which is nice with the Draft League being able to, spread out your items and still have good items being used. Like, you don't have to just throw a Citrus Berry on something because you ran out of items that you wanted. So I'm not really too big of a fan of that drop. Someone will probably pick up Breloom. I don't think it'll stay in free agency for long. I think another team will probably try to pick it up. But the other swap, Sceptile, I don't hate this one that much. Ambipom's a fun Pokemon. It can be an annoying Pokemon. Again, it comes in Fake Out, U-turn, or it could do like Fake Out, Last Resort stuff. But like, I think just like chipping stuff down is a lot better for it, which kind of seemed like it would work on a team like this. This team wants to use its bulk. It wants to get up hazards, and then kind of force the opponent to pivot around. Sceptile does add a little bit more power, and it replaces the grass type that you lose with Breloom. So, I mean, it's okay. Sceptile, again, kind of loses some stuff going from Sword and Shield to BDSP, but it's not the worst thing. Still gets Unburden if you want to do like a White Herb Leaf Storm set or something. That's not too bad. Get off a really strong Leaf Storm the first time, get your White Herb so you don't lose your special attack. Now you have Unburden, so you're doubling speed, and maybe you can clean up from there. But I still am not a big fan of the Jirachi set. You already have so many bulky Pokemon here, and I just don't think that you needed another one. Going to the Boston Braviers, they made one swap. They dropped Seviper and picked up Swalot. So that was just, one poison type to another. I feel like this team has enough offense, and Swallow adds some better utility than what the Viper had. Definitely the changes aren't completely over with this team, but this is the #1 team in the league right now by quite a wide margin, so we're going to try and keep it that way. Charm City Charizard's made a couple big swaps, though. They dropped Torkoal and Magmar, picking up Latias and Electrode. So this is pretty interesting. Dropping Torkoal now opens up the potential for another team to pivot into Sun. Now, Charm City did get Victory Bell and Charizard, which are like the two best like Sun abusers in Brilliant Diamond Shine Pearl. But Venusaur is still available if you want to go with that. If you want to pick up Torkoal and Venusaur. I'm not saying it's good. Well, it's definitely not like Victory Bell level as far as offensive potential goes. But it is something there, and it opens that up. But I think Latias is very good. Latias gives them a Dragon type. It gives them some good bulk. It gives them Defog, Healing Wish. Again, Draco Meteor Psychic. You Roost, or Recover's better than Roost. That way you don't get hit by ground attacks because of your Levitate. So Recover. And it can also learn Sunny Day. So it can still be your second Sunsetter, being bulky enough for that. As far as Electrode goes, it does give them a electric type. Electrode, like, it's fast, right? That's what Electrode is, fast. So you got like fast Taunt, fast Light Screen, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Explosion, something like that. It's definitely better than Magmar for their team. Magmar was really a waste of a pick there, so at least they got something better than that. But I think this will be very interesting to see how the team kind of goes from here. And what other teams might want to pick up Torkoal. You never know. Alright, the Denver Ninetails, they dropped Regice and picked up Muck. Their team is really weak to fairy types. As you can see here, they got 1, 2, 3, 4 fairy weaknesses out of like their top 6 Pokemon. So dropping Regice for Muck can be pretty bulky, especially on the special defensive side. Base 100 special defense, 105 HP, 105 attack. Pretty good stuff. So it is a fairy deterrent. So good swap for them. I didn't think Regice would really break into anything on their team. We'll have to see if they decide to get rid of one of their dark types maybe. And what they could pick up from there. But, pretty good swap for sure. There's still some good defensive Pokemon like Weezing in the B tier, but Muck being in C tier was a nice pickup for them. Alright, the Driftveil City Dragapult. So they kind of alluded to this earlier, but they end up dropping Feraligatr and actually Luxray, which I was surprised about, picking up Suicune and Lumineon. So not a fan of these. What their team lacks here is speed and really just breaking power. Like, sure, Mamoswine can do some stuff, but it doesn't have the breaking power. Feraligatr has breaking power with the Sheer Force Dragon Dance set. You can get up a Dragon Dance and have that kind of sweeping wall breaking power. Suicune adds a lot of bulk to the team, which is good. This team had a lot of flaws, and it still has a lot of flaws. But it does add some bulk. They might say that they can Tailwind to deal with their speed, but you're using one turn to set up the Tailwind. Then you're using another turn to swap out of the Tailwind. So then you're only getting 2 turns of the Tailwind while you're taking multiple attacks. Like, Tailwind isn't what it is in doubles. But yeah, like, Suicune gives them a bulky water type. But they picked up another water type here, Lumineon. Not sure why you would drop Luxray here over something like Mothim or Pachirisu. Like, Luxray can hit. Like, sure, base 70 attack, not great, but it has Guts for an ability, which again opens up your item slots. It gives you a lot of utility with that. and it also has Intimidate, which means you can run like a pretty bulky Luxray, not even have to worry too much about speed with Intimidate. Yeah, I think someone will pick up Luxray too, like I said about Breloom and potentially Torkoal. I think Luxray will be a pretty quick pickup, probably by next week. Lumineon does give them a defogger, but and a water immunity with Storm Drain. And this team is relatively weak to water, so I can kind of see that, but like the Dragapults aren't doing anything to really impress or shake things up here, in my opinion. So we'll have to see. There's still a lot of season left, but not a big fan of these changes. If you want to pick up Lumineon and get rid of Mothim, then okay, that's fine. But I think Luxray was kind of a big drop here. All right, next we got the New York Mankies. The New York Mankies made a few changes. They dropped Primeape, Sandslash, and Butterfree, picking up Skuntank, Yanmega, and Bastiodon. So this does a lot of stuff for them. One, their team, again, it's kind of similar to Driftvale, where they were lacking a lot of things. The New York Mankies do have a very good, like, physical sweeping potential. They have Infernape, they have Gyarados. Those are two really good physical, pretty fast Pokemon. Like, you can, depending on your set, you could either run a Dragon Dance Gyarados with Moxie, or you could just go Choice Scarf with Moxie. Again, depending on what you want to do or your matchup. And Infernape with either Choice Band or Choice Scarf can U-turn around, can get a lot of damage in with stuff like Thunder Punch, Flare Blitz, has Mach Punch for priority if you go with the Choice Band set, and Close Combat. They didn't have any really good special attackers, so picking up Yanmega gives them a relatively fast base 95 speed, tinted lens, so it doesn't get resisted by any attacks, and Choice Specs user. So Yanmega's kind of fills that slot now as a special attacker. It's still not like, okay, you got one now, but at least it's pretty good, right? Like, nothing's coming in to resist this attack. It's going to do damage unless you have a specific special defensive wall. And a lot of those special defensive walls are usually something like Psychic or Dark types, which are going to be taking big Bug Buzz damage. Going with Skuntank gives them, again, another thing that this team was lacking was bulk. Like, Vileplume was their bulkiest Pokemon. That's not very good. Vileplume can do a lot of stuff with Strength Sap and everything, and Sleep Powder, but yeah, not the best to just have that be your bulk. But now adding Skuntank, only one weakness in ground. You get Defog, you get Priority Sucker Punch. You know, it's pretty good as both a solid attacker and as just a relatively bulky Pokemon. Again, only having that one weakness gives it a lot of stuff. And now it gives them a couple options of using Black Sludge on a couple different Pokemon. You could have like Black Sludge on Vileplume and Leftovers on the Skuntank, and I think you'd be okay there. And then also in that same sort of vein, Bastiodon is just kind of pure bulk. That's all Bastiodon really does, is just, I am a bulky boy, and I will get you Stealth Rocks up. So yeah, I like the changes here. We'll have to see how it kind of all comes together. They got a big test here going up against the Pittsburgh Poltergeist this week and their Rain team. So we'll have to see what they can do against that. Okay, next we got the Oklahoma Thunderous. So Oklahoma dropping Skarmory and picking up Gengar. I like this pickup. This team definitely needed more offense, and Gengar is pure offense. So pretty standard pickup there. I definitely like that. All right, and last but not least, we got the Vero Beach Volcaronas, who made some changes. They dropped Regirock, Dugtrio, and Dusclops picking up Dusknoir, Leafeon, and Babarrel. So, a couple things here. One, they dropped a lot of their Stealth Rocks. Usually, like, Regirock's good. You get up Stealth Rocks, and then you blow up or something, right? It has the Sturdy. You can use the Custap. That's kind of what Regirock does. You know, guarantee that you get those rocks. Now their only rocks user is Metagross, which isn't bad, right? It's not like, okay, Metagross is a bad rocks user. But there are potentially more reliable ones in the lower tiers that I think could have replaced Regirock as well. Obviously, you had to get rid of Dusclops. And Dugtrio, while it's a fast ground type, they could potentially be better. They don't have a ground type now, which does kind of hurt, though. So I feel like they lose both a good, reliable rock setter and a ground type. They do improve on their ghost type, going from Dusclops to Dusknoir. Obviously an improvement. Opens up some more stuff there. They pick up a water type in Babarrel. Babarrel, pretty solid with its priority attacks. It can get Aqua Jet, Quick Attack, and with simple Swords Dance, excuse me, you do get a pretty high attack stat after one Swords Dance. It gives you +4 attack. So usually you run Double Edge too with that. Or you could run Waterfall. Again, kind of depending on your matchup. But yeah, I don't mind the Babarrel. The one I'm questioning more is the Leafeon. Leafeon just seems like a worse Shiftry, and I just don't see the reason to spend a pick on getting a Pokemon that one of your Pokemon already fulfills the role for, especially when you drop kind of two key roles in a rock setter and a ground type. So kind of a mix on this. I do think changes were needed on the lower part of this team, but we'll have to see how it kind of all comes together. So those are all the changes in the first week of free agency for the minors. Next week we will have for the majors. Next week we will have the minors entering free agency as well, so we'll have to see what changes they make. But let me know your thoughts in the comments on the free agent changes. What teams do you think made good changes? What teams do you think made bad changes? Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any of the Draft League news this season. And as always, stay classy, society.